Week 2, WOD 5. For your warm-up, you're going to give me 3 rounds of 10 squats, 10 push-ups, 10 good mornings, and 10 rows. Starting with our squat, feet shoulder width or slightly wider. You're going to initiate with those hips first. Send the hips back, then the knees immediately go out. We want to try to get that hip crease below the knees. Nice tall chest and flat back. I like to raise my arms. It helps me keep my chest up. Make sure you're keeping your heels down throughout the entire movement and not letting your knees drive forward past your toes. Now, for our tier 1, you guys are more than welcome to put a chair behind you to kind of meet you halfway or meet you at the depth that you're at. You can also use a doorway or a post for some support and some guidance. Next, we have our push-ups. For tier 2 and 3, you can do strict or a version of strict, a snaking push-up, where we let our chest rise first and then pop up into a plank, and then let our chest hit first on the way back down. Notice that my arms are right underneath my chest, not wide and not above my head, and we certainly don't want to drive those elbows out to the sides. We want to track our rib cage when we do our push-ups. For tier 1, you can use any sort of elevated surface to assist you in your push-ups. Remember to still keep those elbows in. You could even use a wall. Now we're moving on to those good mornings. These are just like deadlifts. If you've been working out with us and following along, then you already know what the deadlift looks like. It's a hinge where we send those hips back, not a squat. Keep a nice flat back. Keep the weight in your heels. Have your thumbs track your legs. For a little more tension, you can wrap a band around your neck and stand in it. And then the same movement, initiating with those hips. Pushing the weight back in our heels, nice soft knees, flat back. Don't reach for the floor, just hinge at the hips. Notice I'm keeping the weight back in my heels, not letting my knees drive forward at all. And lastly, we have our row. So we're going to kind of hinge just like we did for the good mornings. And then we want to reach the dumbbells back towards the hips, not pulling to the chest, that's just a curl, but kind of driving the elbows back, driving our hands to our hips. You can use really light dumbbells for this, or you can even use a band. For mobility, we're going to start with a squat sit. You can use a door frame or a chair to assist you. You want to initiate with the hips, keeping your heels down, chest up, nice flat back. You can use your elbows to press those knees out, kind of sink down into it, and work a little bit of range of motion while you're down there. You know this next one, it's shoulder opener number 3, pressing against a wall, elbows locked out, driving your chest down in between your arms, keeping nice soft knees and a flat back. Then we're going to move on to something new. This is called sink. We're going to reach our hands back behind us, try to get them as close together as you can. I am not good at this stretch. And then you want to move your butt as far away from your hands as you can and open up that chest. You're going to feel this in your elbows for sure. Our workout is all strength today. You are going to give me 5 sets of 10 dumbbell goblet squats, 5 sets of 10 dumbbell deadlifts, 5 sets of 10 dumbbell presses, and 5 sets of 10 single arm dumbbell rows on each side. Now, you want to do all sets of the first movement before moving on to the second, and so on. As far as weight, we're looking for you to go as heavy as you can while keeping good form. We don't want you to go to failure, but we want you to come close to it. Starting with our goblet squat, all the regular squat rules apply. You can hold your dumbbell how you're comfortable. I like to hold it like a goblet. And then remembering to initiate at the hips. Keep your heels down. Don't let your knees drive forward past your toes. Keep your chest nice and tall. Your back nice and flat. Try to get your hip crease below your knees. Next, we have our double dumbbell deadlift. We've done this one before. This is going to be just like the good morning. So we're going to hinge at the hips. Keep those shins nice and vertical, not let those knees come forward. We're going to track our legs with our dumbbells. If you can't get all the way to the floor without rounding your back, then just go mid-shin on these. For some of you, a sumo style might be easier where the feet are spread a little bit further apart and we go on the inside of the legs. Either position though, you want to make sure that you're reaching the head of the dumbbell back towards the heels. Next is our dumbbell strict press with 2 dumbbells. Notice the back head of the dumbbells are to my shoulders, and I'm pressing my arms straight up, driving my biceps to my ears. My feet are directly underneath my hips, keeping my belly tight, not arching my back, squeezing my butt. And lastly, we have a single arm dumbbell row. So you're gonna set up like I am here, and you're gonna drive the elbow back or drive the dumbbell back towards the hips. Think about driving the elbow back and not pulling towards your chest. That's really important because we want to engage the lats, not necessarily the bicep. And you're going to give me 10 reps on each side for 5 sets.